You're out of ideas and your whole creativity is just gone? Well, maybe, but maybe not. So lately I've had a big improvement in my art, and majority of that is thanks to studying references on Pinterest, on other sites. But after a while I was like, I am improving my art, but I'm basically just copying the reference and I'm not really learning how to draw from imagination. And that was a really big problem for me and kinda still is. So I decided to test myself by drawing more from imagination. And how can I do that? Step 1. Take a cool photo from Pinterest like you've done before. Step 2, open random object generator or any kind of randomized stuff, generating stuff object. Step 3, generate a few things that you will have to put in your drawing in order to make a cohesive piece by the end. I decided to look for references and they were kind of weird, but it's kind of helpful. It is kind of helpful. So whoever's creating them, thank you. So after looking at the sus looking references, I decided it is time to start sketching. So I tried to make a circle. Then I moved on to sketching out the face structure and her whole pose. And I decided to have her like holding her hands like this, being cuffed. Then I moved on to sketching out the face, and I always start with the nose. I don't know if you do that as well. It's just it's just my thing, you know. It's so me. Yeah, I wanted to give her like this sassy kind of what you looking at kind of vibe, and the story of her character was starting to form a little bit in my brain. My 3 brain cells were working really hard. So her expression, my worst artistic decision ever. Not because it didn't fit the picture, but it was so hard to draw. I couldn't figure out the lighting. Her face was bending in some weird ways, and like here it was really dark and her nose had like that little groove. I did like 1 expression study in my life, so I wasn't great. Next, hair, bam. Now, my favorite part, the pants on the head. What you looking at, stupid baby? Fuck out of here. I'm sorry. I've been harsh to the baby and I'd like to formally apologize for my actions. Next, I started sketching out the underwear on red. Yeah, I think I did pretty okay with basically no reference. Maybe I found like 1 guy. Then, the thing that every artist is scared about, the hands. I was terrified about drawing those hands because it's a peculiar pose, if you will, and do any artist feel comfortable drawing hands? If you think like hands, I got it, then nah, you're just lying, dude. Come on. Thank God for the asset store on Clip Studio and the ability to get like a 3D model and just contort it in a way that you desire. And if you think that's cheating, just look at what I did. This is not even like, even with the 3D reference, I still bailed out because I was scared to make a proper sketch. So yeah, don't even ask me. But what scared me even more than those hands was this jacket. Like, look at the folds on this thing. I couldn't wrap my head around this the entire drawing. Like, it was impossible. But I find a way and stick to the end to find out what I did with it. Okay, so I want to color now. Give me color now. Hey, the bad webcam is here. Hello. I'm a poser, I'm a fraud. I should just quit. Everyday stuff in being an artist, you know. It is what it is. So, the face, the eyes, I was pretty happy with it. This day was the day that would really test my patience, my skills, my sanity, my underwear, but that's a different story. On top of that, my girlfriend called me and I had to do this shit one-handed, which I am kinda proficient in, but ever since I got a girlfriend, I think I went a little bit out of practice. But it's like riding a bicycle, you never really forget how to do it. And after an hour or so, I decided, nah, this looks horrible. I decided to redraw her whole... We didn't go that deep into the details. I decided to redraw her hands and her pose, which kinda worked. So I tried again. I watched some YouTube tutorials, I watched Croco on shadow and lighting.
We're gonna draw balls, and balls are smooth.
Equipped with a fresh amount of knowledge from the master himself, I decided to give it 1 more try. And believe it or not, I think I did pretty well actually. I decided to keep the sharp edges because this kind of material strikes me as sharply folding. Yeah. So before adding the background, this needs a bit of my personal touch. So I went with face stickers to complement the silliness of all of this, and I went with the bruised face to add a little bit of background and story, and also to contrast the silliness. So you have kinda like something to balance it out. After that, there was only one thing left to do, and that was to paint the background. Backgrounds scare me even more than hands and folds combined. I've made like 2 backgrounds in my life, one of which is just flat color. Needless to say, I'm not really experienced in doing backgrounds. This is the final piece, and let me tell you, if you're surprised, I'm even more surprised. I wasn't expecting it to turn out that good. I was really struggling for the majority of that. Turns out, if you just try and give it your all, you can actually succeed. What? Wow! I know, crazy, right? So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you had as much fun as I did. And I hope you draw something today as well, because drawing is fun, you know? Even if you're having a mental breakdown every other day, it's still fun. Bye.